I start, but today we're going to dive into a really juicy topic that I think that most people have questions around, which is the one tool that we have that we don't use enough, which is our intuition. And I want to bust the myth that intuition is something that only a certain handful of us have access to, some, spiritual ascended chosen people that have access to intuition, but we all have access to intuition. It's all within us. It's our deeper knowing. It's our North Star. It's that voice inside of us that tells us whether we should turn right or left, or get on that plane or not, or get into that relationship or not. It's that knowing. But oftentimes what happens is we get confused. I've definitely been confused in my life between intuition and fear, and going round and round and round in the analysis of what's happening inside of me. Is this my fear talking, or is this my intuition? Should I do what I'm hearing, and should I do what I'm hearing, or should I not? And what if I am wrong? And what would it be like for us to truly feel grounded and confident in our intuition and knowing exactly that is my intuition and I can trust it. I can trust it because I've followed my intuition in the past and it's never led me wrong. So think of all the different situations in your life that intuition would have served you. Now, I'm not a believer that we need to regret our past mistakes, because who we are today is a beautiful masterpiece of all the mistakes that we've made. And sometimes our mistakes will lead us to a beautiful place, will lead us to growth, will lead us to expansion, will lead us to being our best selves. So I don't always believe that our intuition will lead us to the outcome that we want. Okay, so our soul, our intuition is always guiding us to grow, is always guiding us to our highest good. And sometimes our highest good is not fully aligned with what we want up here, what our ego wants. But if you are committed to your growth, if you're committed to really becoming your best self, then your intuition is a very, very powerful tool that you can use in order to follow that soul's path, to really be able to know that you're on the right track with whatever you are doing in your life, whether it's starting a new business, whether you should quit a job and start a different career, whether the relationship that you're in is something that's going to be serving you, anything, even like what serve you. And if you're one of those people that has a really hard time deciding, then listen to this video, check it out, and also stay tuned to the end where I will talk about my workshop. And if you want to dive deeper into this subject and really get good about tapping into that intuition, then stay tuned for the rest of this. And drop a comment if this is something that you've been wanting to know. You've been wanting to know how do I know what's my intuition? How do I know when it's that deeper voice, that higher voice, that smarter voice inside of me versus my fear voice? So there is one word that will distinguish your intuition from your fear. And I want you to drop a comment if you're watching this on the replay, what you think that word is. Because when you get really good at listening yourself, really good at like listening for the feeling of this word, then you will oftentimes know. And what blocks us a lot from our intuition is our fear, right? Our fear will get in the way of us actually trusting ourselves. So when you really hone the skill of listening yourself and really going deeper, you will actually be able to transcend the fear. We'll never get rid of the fear, but really transcending the fear and being able to move forward and trusting yourself. And when you trust yourself, imagine what's possible. Imagine what time you save. Imagine what's possible in your life if you could truly just trust yourself and not wait for the outside world or the feedback, the evidence to appear out there for you to then trust yourself. Would it let you let go of external validation? Would it allow yourself to be free of needing to expect things from other people or situations, when we can really trust ourselves and really navigate this life with a sense of groundedness and a sense of security within ourselves, especially during this time right now, during this pandemic? So that word is should. I love that word because we have been conditioned to should ourselves. I oftentimes say should is shit. So if you feel like shit, you got to look back in your day, in your conversations with yourself, and how have I shoulded myself? How have I been shitting all over myself? We oftentimes wake up in the morning and we shit all over ourselves, right? I should have woken up earlier. I should have prepared myself for the day. We should ourselves all the way to work. I shouldn't be late. I shouldn't, whatever. Not so much these days because we're not really driving to work anymore, but you get my point. So it's the should. It's the should. Your intuition will never make you feel bad. Your intuition will never make you feel like you're wrong, or it will never point the finger at you like a critical parent or your critical partner. It will never be like, I told you so. Your intuition might be in retrospect, but it will never be an energy of shoulding or judgment or shame. And if you can feel that in your body, it's not going to make you feel like you want to run and hide. It's not going to make you feel like contracted and small and shamed. Your intuition is often that nudging, that hit or run nudging. It's very subtle. It's very subconscious often. And and it's about honing the skill of really tapping into that subconscious part of you. It's never going to be the voice that's in your ear, nagging you all day long, telling you what you should or shouldn't do. That's your fear. That's your mind. And what we know about the mind is that it's constantly creating and speaking to us from a place of our past. It's speaking to us from our trauma. It's speaking to us from our mistakes, our pain, because it's really there to serve us. It's really there to protect us. And you shouldn't do that. Are you sure you want to date that guy? Because you really shouldn't. Now, again, your intuition might concur with your fear voice, but it's not going to make you feel bad. Let's say you don't want to end something. You want to continue into some sort of a relationship. Your fear voice is going to be like, you better run and hide, versus your intuition might be like, this may not be the one. This may not be it. Or you're worthy of more, or, just watch yourself, or perhaps listen, really pay attention. But it will never be, again, that telling voice, that shoulding, judgmental, I'm better than you. Your intuition will never be a dualistic, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. It will never separate it will never divide you into right or wrong, good or bad. Our intuition is really our navigation system. It's our soul compass. It helps us to make steps along our path. It's not a psychic. It can't predict what's going to happen. So it's not going to tell you what this person is going to be. It's just kind of gently nudging you to just be more aware or be more present, or give you a little bit more insight. Maybe you should look at this. Maybe you should look at that, instead of a telling. It's always course correcting us. And again, I believe that if we don't listen to our intuition and we end up following our heart or whatever, it's never like, you're never not going to get back on the right path, because when you start to hone into your intuition, you will get on the right path. But again, your intuition is always guiding you towards your highest good. And that's not a linear path. It's a crazy, wonky path of like 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 5 steps forward. It's not going to look the way your ego expects it to look. So again, the process of trusting yourself is really, it requires you to have some compassion and some patience with yourself. So it's the shoulding, and it's the dualistic right, wrong, good, bad conversation that will distinguish your intuition from your fear, from your mind. So I hope that really helps you. And when you get good at listening to yourself and feeling what it feels like, if you feel like shit, it's because you're feeding yourself shit, and then you need to listen to the shoulds. You need to be aware and mindful that I'm shoulding myself, and that isn't really my intuition, that's my fear. And how do I tap into my intuition? How do I really cultivate that sense of a deeper knowing and trust and inner peace? So all of this will be kind of answered, and we're going to go deeper into this on Sunday. I'm having an amazing workshop from 1 to 2:30. We're going to just dive into all things expectations, trying to cultivating your sense of resilience during this time. Can we all agree we've been disappointed so much this year, waiting for things to happen, things are not happening, having to cancel events and things in our lives, our daily activities, not being able to connect with the people that we love. And it's disappointing. And how do we rise above that? How do we stay still highly engaged in our lives, yet unattached to the outcome, which creates a lot of frustration, impatience, anger, all of that stuff? And how do we rise above it? And how do we take our power back and learn to have joy in the uncertainty? How do we tap into our intuition and trust ourselves and trust our steps when the world out there is not giving us any answers or evidence? And it's going to be an amazing 1.5 hours. It's going to be over Zoom. If you can't attend, please sign up anyways, because I'm going to be sending the recording out. And all you really need is a journal, a towel, or a pillow, or a scarf, and just show up open and ready to go, and it's going to be amazing. So I really hope that this video helped you practice it, even little things today, maybe like, what am I going to have for lunch? What should I have for lunch? Little decisions, start cultivating that intuition, cultivate the muscle, because it really is a muscle. And if we don't use it, it atrophies. And it's really all available to all of us. And so it's all inside of you. You know what you want. You know what you need. You know the best way to go, but it's about clearing away the stuff, the cloudiness that really blocks us from our intuition. So I hope you enjoy this. Like, share, comment. If you want to come, reach out to me, DM me on Sunday, and I would love to connect with you, and I would love to have you. So I hope you're all having a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all soon.